we're going to roll into the final section of the evening, which is another 20 minutes, and the lovely Susie Pearl is going to ask a few questions to me, and we're going to talk about the Hub project, and yeah, what we're doing here and what our plans are, I guess.
Yeah, so let's begin with why you set this vision rolling, and what was it that inspired you to, what's the story of the origination actually?
Okay, well, me and my wonderful girlfriend, Kelly Allen, who is in the front row, it was 3.5 years ago now. Kelly had experienced some of the other sort of workspaces that were around on the island, and I had spent a winter renting a villa to get creatives together, because I'm forever having ideas and always wanting to have a group of people to work together with on these ideas. And both of us had had bad experience doing those things. So Kelly had found not necessarily a workspace that inspired her to go to work, and I'd tried to get creatives together to kind of work on projects, and exchanging rent for like website or photography or something just didn't work out. So we had the idea to launch a co-working space. I have got some history with this venue. I did a open air music venue which caused quite a bit of a stir and didn't necessarily get me the front page for the right reasons. Depends what you call the right reasons, I guess. But we approached the owner, who is my friend, and he said, yeah, cool, give it a go. So we started upstairs in Hub 1, and we started a co-working space for 20 people 3.5 years ago now.
Wow. So it's come on a long way since. Every time I come here, it looks completely different.
Same.
And there's a whole different group, a whole budgeting group of people here.
Yes.
Almost every week it's transforming.
Yeah, so I mean, it felt like, so every 6 months we have expanded. That's been the life cycle of this business. After 6 months of the co-working, we took on the ground floor of the building there to do private offices, which were rented off plan before we'd finished them. When we started doing it, we started to find the people who really needed this, and they started to find us, and it kind of sped up really quickly. And then 6 months after that, we started Hub 3. And then, yeah, we'd kind of, after that, it was, it felt like we were pushing this thing uphill for quite a while because no one has done this at this scale before here, and it's very rare that you can do something for the first time in Ibiza. A lot of things have been done, and it was just something. But we knew the people were here though, because there were a lot of people like us here,
and we're all hidden away in a way.
Sure.
And this place has kind of brought people together
because it's moved to Ibiza. I can work from a cafe on my laptop at the beach, which, because of course that's great. And working from home is the holy grail until we are forced to do it. For about, I don't know how many weeks was that. We were all locked indoors for so long, right? That really crystallized everything. Everyone realized that this was important at the same time, and we have benefited dramatically from that. I mean, obviously the story has evolved quite a lot. We've got a phenomenal team of people.
Amazing people. All your team are just so fantastic.
It's
well done.
That is true.
They're amazing people. I mean, I don't know how you've done it. That's one of the many very impressive
Well, I haven't
things.
done it. They've done it. That's the whole point.
No, but you're attracting this group of people. It's a very positive place.
Yeah, I mean, Rick joined the family. It was Rick, Kelly, and I pushing this project together. That was about 1.5 years, nearly 2 years ago now. We'd done Hub 3, or we were in the building process, because it's a bit of a blur that period of time. But then COVID happened, and it was at that point we had no outside space. We were still, because we didn't have the cash. This has been bootstrapped. We bootstrapped our bootstrap. It was a proper hustle. There's one thing trying to run a business like this, another thing trying to finance it if you don't have any cash.
Well, I was extremely worried at one point because I depend upon this for my sanity and to get work done. And I was worried that, you may not be able to sew that last piece together.
I mean, there was one meeting that I chose not to go to with the landlord, because it was, let's look at what bits you can afford to keep. Swerved that one because I know him very well, and I was like, next week he might have a different opinion, because he's always been one of our biggest supporters. But we genuinely nearly...
The good news is that there's been this beautiful gold fairy dust sprinkled on this journey, and now we're in a place where this is going to be developed. Can you
Yeah.
talk about what
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
doing
So
there?
we took this on. So lockdown, out of lockdown, doing the outside space, negotiating a great deal with the landlord enabled us to create a €99 co-working product, which is like 50% less than anything that could have happened before because of the economics of the situation. And stacking lots of value in it. Like, I think being present throughout lockdown, taking things online, trying to, the most important thing right now, beyond everything else, is community. And I think
Yes.
that's quite consistent in everybody's point of view tonight amongst us all. It's like being around people that are trying to do something similar, like moving forward.
Well, human beings need other human beings. We've realized one of the things we've taken out of this quarantine is that being alone sucks.
Sure, and we were forced to realise that. We were all locked indoors. It's like, okay, cool.
And it's not good for your mental health, your business, all these things. And I think one of the amazing values of this place is who you bump into around the place as you go through the day.
It is,
and everyone's got something to share or, swap in ways.
The way sort of we generally work is we write the press release of what it's going to be like, and then we work backwards.
Yeah.
Because if you were to, as we're surrounded by entrepreneurs and business owners and executives, it's like, if you were to start with, right, well, what we got to really do, we got to do loads of shit. We got to do all of this, really hard, difficult things. You would never get started. It's like, what is the vision? Why are we doing this? It's like, how about if you could create an inspiring community space where you had industry leaders. We've been trusted by some of the world's biggest companies now. We've had executives from tech companies that have based themselves here all summer. The caliber of people that have engaged with this project is phenomenal. You would have been a complete arrogant twat if you'd have started. It's like, well, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Do you know? And
say how you feel.
So to then, it's like, how about if we could create a community space like this in Ibiza? And we've,
It's phenomenal.
it is phenomenal. And it's extremely humbling to be part of the team that's steering this thing forward. And so we came out of lockdown, €99 product, as well as all the other products, which were already, so imagine we had our best month ever the month before lockdown, right? And then lockdown happened. We were forced to close, as everybody else was. We switched our energies online. The team kind of rallied around. We nearly lost the place. We then took a significant bet, more leverage to go again. And we took the bet to the point where we bet everything we could, we got, the loans and whatever. And we bet it so hard that before we'd even come back out of lockdown to start taking money, we defaulted on our Spotify €99 a month premium membership. That's how far, that is redlining it. And then we opened it up, and within 3 weeks, 75 people bought into it and became members, and we had to create a waiting list because we didn't have any more space, because we didn't want to just keep going, although we could have. It was like, no, everyone gets guaranteed a 4-hour desk on the $99, so that we hit capacity. And then that's what enabled us to have the confidence to take on another €1,200 a week rent to take the bit we're sat in and the bit inside. And then 50 people ended up on the waiting list. It was like, cool, we're on to something here now. And it was just trying to kind of stop.
Well, thank God you had the vision, and you had the guts and the stamina to hold it steady during that. And I think we've had between
the team of people,
it's been an amazing, and we're all storytellers, and the story we're telling is breathtakingly brilliant, when you look at it and you think, wow. And many people don't know this inside track. I mean, I've watched it, I've been there with you and seen it. I'm well aware of how much you were against the wire. And I was in, feeling it personally, thinking, my God, this thing can't drop. Because we need this. We need this in our lives. The island needs it. We've got too many brilliant ideas happening here. And what I'm loving is the fact, you're building apps to be able to connect people with one another so that we can see who's doing what. And if I need a digital marketeer, I've got a long list of people immediately I can reach out to, for example. Tell us about what's happening with your music. And
So we've expanded, we've created more space for members. We hit 300 members this week, 300 people. That's like, what solid effort that is. We've got about 60 more spaces on a silver membership, and then we're full. But unifying like 300 plus people behind an idea on an island like this, we can have a significant impact on what positive changes come next. You know, things like, you know, the IB for Preservation Fund, we've been giving those guys space, like this is their home for the last 2 years or so. You know, every Monday and Wednesday they're here. If you ever want to connect with them, just let me know. What does a business look like if it's doing the right thing? It's like, we were doing that, I mean, when we weren't anywhere near like generating the revenue that we are. When we're still not making cash yet, but that will come. Like, this will be a profitable venture. We'll get there eventually. But carving those things out from the beginning, people buy into that because we bought into it. We did it because it was an important thing to do. I think unifying this many people on an island like this behind an idea, who knows what's possible? I mean, everything is possible. Like, if you look at Silicon Valley, like, that was just some people, like, rented a villa and had a crazy idea and built an app, like, and then everyone else jumped there. It's like, why can't, you know, in 5 to 10, it's like, why can't in 5 to 10 ideas that were born within here, like, and it's like, change the world, you know, like, it's everything's possible. And I think everybody here, that's the point of this conversation series, is to remind us all, actually, anyone who's ever done anything was just like us. They just carried on. They just didn't give up. That's all it is, really. And we could have given up.
And let's
easily
bring it back into the energy of the island. This is an island that is well known around the world. It's not known for many things. Many of the things now are quite outdated. You know, music and raves and all. You know, that's not happening this year.
Sure.
But what is happening, and I think everyone who lives here will sense and understand this, is that this is gathering a group of change makers from around the world. They're all naturally feeling to come to the island. They don't really know why.
Yeah.
Often it's something that's not a conscious awareness of why they're doing it. But they're arriving here to make some waves.
Yeah.
And everyone needs a place, a location,
and I think
to do that from. And I think that's what is happening here.
Because if you think about now, so like we're talking about, you know, as I say, executives from the world's biggest companies have been in here for the last few months working at those companies. Because before, it's like, you know, if you don't come from, you know, like if you come from a different economic background, you don't necessarily have to think about it. But if you're trying to make your way, you're trying to carve out a financial future for yourself, you think you'd normally gravitate to the places that those things are happening already.
Yeah.
It's like, well, industry, like I used to be in finance, so you're in London because that's where finance is. Or, you know, if you're in tech, you might go somewhere like, you know, in San Fran or whatever.
Yeah.
But to come here and be like, well, no, actually, if we create a space and we all get together, and then, as I say, the situation that we're in, everyone then working remotely, all of these things, everyone realizing at the same time, it's like, well, we can work anywhere, so why wouldn't we work in IB for it? Just so happens that we had a 3-year head start on like, no, this is important, let's do this thing.
Yeah. And it's like, instead of a brain drain, it's the opposite. A lot of great minds are coming here now.
It's absolutely outrageous.
It's sort of just, it's just lighting a match to let that
I mean,
happen. Will you talk a bit about the local, integrating with the local systems and people and so on?
Yeah, sure. I mean, historically, our approach has been ask for forgiveness and not for permission. Because you can't really get anywhere. Like, it's like, oh, you know, we've got this, like, imagine. So we had the luxury of inheriting this phenomenal venue. And it was like, well, we've got some restaurant licenses. You know, what can we do with that? It's like, well, what we really want to do is like, some people are going to do some fitness, then we're going to have a kids hub, then there's going to be people like working on computers, and then there's going to be this other thing going on. Like, no, we ain't got a box for that. You can't do that. So backtrack. It's like, okay, well, we're going to do a co-working cafe. Everyone's going to come here and they're going to buy a coffee. It just so happens they get all this other phenomenal stuff included. But let's not tell anyone about that. So it makes it difficult to integrate with the authorities and like the grants and stuff that you get without kind of exposing yourself, if you like. But IB for Preservation, that was a big statement for us. It was important for us to do that, so we've been doing that for a while. And now we've actually reached a critical mass, if you like. We're able to start confidently engaging in conversations which we are doing with the help of Alicia, who's in the audience this evening. You know, starting conversations with the Balearic government, with the Conseil, because we actually, like, our vision now is, you know, what does it look like in the next 5 to 10? How does this island grow through these situations? And it's we're evidence that 300 people who are in very well-paid jobs, or getting after it or doing things properly, have chosen Ibiza as a place to live. So creating an infrastructure around those things will only have a fundamentally positive impact on the island because of the year-round stable income and whatnot. So we're looking to do a lot more work in that, engaging with the government, showing them our blueprint, if you like, and actively trying to encourage them to do more.
Their footprint around tourism has obviously got to be developed post-COVID now. There's a whole different conversation, whole different paradigm that's got to be a model for tourism. And I understand that you are kind of working through ideas to help with that.
Yeah, we're looking at doing creating, I guess. So we're actively engaging starting to engage with the authorities, because they've got budgets for tourism to promote different types of tourism, and fundamentally the people that are here now is exactly the type of people that they would like to be here more often. And we think we've got a few strategies to create a bit of a whirlwind. And if you think about it, in 5 years, why would it? I mean, we're all agreed that Ibiza is the best place in the world to live. Just so happens it's could be one of the best places to do business as well.
To do work. Well, I think people are feeling that. So many people from all the cities. I mean, I'm from London originally, and so many people I know are saying, it's time for me to leave London. I want to get out. Ibiza's a great shout.
Yep.
And we have this, it's almost like a big refugee motion to come here and leave the city life behind. Because we no longer need offices.
Sure.
We no longer need to do the tubes. We no longer need to do the rush hour.
You need the hub.
You can work anywhere.
Yeah.
And so that whole nomadic revolution we're witnessing. And it's actually what you visioned was this nomadic revolution, and then COVID came along and made it happen. It's almost like there was a crystal ball here where you saw this was going to happen.
No, I'm a foolish optimist.
So it was blind faith. Merged together.
Yeah. And as I say, we've got a phenomenal team of people. We've got behind an idea, and we put everything on the line to make it happen. And it just happens that everybody here has, also agreed. We're very, very fortunate.
Well, it's a very exciting time for the hub.
It is, man.
We all can't wait to hear what the next developments are about.
There are some things coming next. As I say, we've just taken on, as back to the bootstrap scenario, we just painted everything white and put some desks in, as you probably noticed, but that's what everybody needs. Next, we've got a music academy coming with DJ Sasha and Nathan and a few other people. We're creating a media centre. We're lucky enough now, I think we've captivated the attention of some people that are able to help us financially without necessarily looking for an immediate financial return, because they notice this as an important project. It's very humbling to have conversations with people who've never had to think about how much something costs, and then to tell them that this project wasn't done for the money, this was done to create a community of people, because create an environment like this, all of the financial rewards come from the projects that you do together with the people that you put together. And when you could say that to people who haven't had to think about cash, and you say, well, we're not doing this for the money, and they're like, yeah, cool, well, do you need some money, to help this thing work? And they're doing it, and it's like, oh, well, cool, that's fucking great, let's go. And now then that enables you to think a little bit further. It's like, well, okay, well, we've always thought, well, we can't do that because we haven't really got the cash. But now it's like, well, no, these people are saying, well, what does it look like if it's amazing? And you're like, well, to be fair, we should probably do a music academy with Sasha. That's a good place to start.
Well, we are in Ibiza, so we should be doing some sort of music activities. And here, there's this big trend of wellness flowing through, and we see people doing all these classes
every single day, Monday to Friday.
Kids are important. We've realised that that's an important part of being a family and being social and being integrated into the island.
Yeah, I think just on Kids Hub, sorry to interrupt you, obviously, as soon as playgrounds stop becoming illegal, we will have a Kids Hub. Obviously, very strange times we're living in. Hello, June, you coming up? Just on cue, to be fair.
Yeah, bingo.
Hello, June. You all right, young lady? How are you doing? Again, another thing that's important. Oh, hello. How are you doing?
These are the ones that are so important.
You're the girl.
And they have a space here.
Are you coming up, or are you coming up here? Hey? Are you getting involved? Come with mummy. Kids Hub, like we're going to make childcare affordable for parents. So the idea was you could drop your kid for 4 hours and get a desk for 4 hours and not have to think, oh my God, this costs me a fortune. And that is subsidised by the community pot that we're all putting our money into by paying our memberships, basically. Because I think it's important, as we all do. That's why we're here. And then, yeah, as part of the music thing, it will be a media centre. So accessible content production and delivery for brands and businesses.
So for people who want to do videos for social media, want to do sound, audio, there's a podcast
everything. I mean,
studio.
we're actually, again, this is when you have people that have different financial capabilities, it's like, well, actually, we might as well make a media centre that a Hollywood director could use to remotely edit a film, because it's all Hollywood directors are remotely editing films at the minute. You know, like, it's just enabled this whole shift. And I guess what's the whole inspirational conversation theme is like, we nearly lost this place.
Yeah.
We took a bet which was financially bigger than we could have afforded to pay for if it went wrong, because we fundamentally believed this was the right thing to do. And I think this situation globally has created an environment for ideas that are the right thing to do, because people will buy into it. Community, it's like, no, obviously people that are paying their membership, for me, it's not someone paying for a desk. It's like, no, that's the right thing to do. I get it. Let's go.
Every great, massive entrepreneurial story, or story of someone who's made good in the world or done great things in the world, has this backstory of being courageous at times, taking risks at times, and doing things that are, on paper, you think, oh my God, that's like...
Sure.
Really, and you guys have been through it, and I'm really pleased that we've been able to share that tonight.
Me too.
People
Thank
know
you,
what's... I mean, I know a lot of what you said because we've talked about it,
of course,
almost daily, but a lot of people sitting here do not know what's been going on and the level of holding everything steady to make this work for everybody.
Yeah,
so on behalf of everybody, I want to thank you and your team.
Thank you.
Yeah, for holding it steady through the whole of quarantine, inspiring us, making us feel like we're not going to drop through the crack that's appeared in this crazy planet right now. We're all kind of holding on, and we're going to make it because you guys had the balls to carry on. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Susie. And it isn't... Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's a phenomenal team of people that have unified together to push this thing forward, and it is a kind of super humbling group of members, community that has really put it forward. So the hub isn't ours, the hub is all of ours, and let's keep going, basically. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Wicked. Wicked. Nice one, Susie.